Hello everybody, my name is Richie. Excuse my voice. I'm a bit like, I don't know how you call it in English, but my voice is a bit dead because of my Nerdscreams at the end of this challenge. Like, ever since they announced it, I knew that I wanna have not the hunter, but the bear. Ever since they announced that they do Magetower again, and I saw that you have an epic bear skin, I was like, okay, I actually have to do this. So yeah, I've spent roughly, I think it's like 7 or 8 hours that I spent with this challenge. So yeah, if you don't wanna hear all my ramblings about setup and all, then I suggest you skip ahead to the timestamp down below and watch the challenge itself. But now we are going in with my thoughts and how I approach this. At first, I went in with this setup, quickly realized that Earth Warden does nothing for you because you don't get meleeed a lot, so I changed to Survival of the Fittest. Blood Frenzy, same as Earth Warden, you don't get meleeed a lot, so it doesn't help. Even though in P2 it would be a lot easier to have this. So if you're struggling a lot in P2, maybe get this, but I think Brambles is just too good because it also adds passive damage, which is not a lot, but it's a little bit. So that's that. Incarnation versus Guardian. My plan was go into phase 2, wait first, annihilate, pop everything, kill boss. Reality was, if you don't play Guardian, phase 1 takes longer, at least for me, in how I approached phase 1. And then you'll go into phase 2 with like 4 infernals instead of 3. I think I only get 3 in my kill. Let's hope that's correct. So then phase 2 is a lot messier. So I swapped around between those two talents a lot. A whole lot. And I think like an hour before I killed it, I even tried Incarnation out for like 5 or 10 pulls. Because I wasn't sure if it's actually worth going Galactic. But in the setup that I went with, it was actually the very right move. So another one is Mighty Bash versus Heart of the Wild. My plan was to prolong, like, if I get, like, I was assuming that I might get a 5th Annihilate, which I wouldn't survive, because my strategy for the 4th one was to use a cheat death. So if I would get a 5th one, I would use Mighty Bash. The reality was, I usually didn't live until the 5th one. I just died before, because of mistakes. Or Katka would die, like that guy likes to die as well. So I went with the damage option, which is Heart of the Wild. Why? Because this boosts your damage of your Moonfire when in bear form. Someone in the Druid Discord said this. You just use this at the start of P2 and then forget about it. Okay, so here's my damage breakdown. That's only done, like damage done to Cruel. Nothing else. Like that's also the nice thing about Galactic Guardian. It's nice priority damage. Like if you compare it to Guardian. In Guardian you basically press, like you spam Thresh, which is like nice AoE, yes, and you are like unkillable. But Guardian is nice priority damage. Also, my one big min-max is Potion of Unbridled Fury, which is like, it does 8k damage, which is a lot, not gonna lie. But in the kill itself, it was so clean, I actually wouldn't have needed the potion, I think. Yeah, and then also Lightless Force, Mark of Dayton Satyr. Like, nothing too crazy here, but Potion is my one big min-max that I did. And also some other things in terms of gear, which I'm going to talk about now. I started out with this, because this trinket, the Titanic Ocular Gland, was busted and would still give 124 stats when inside the challenge. They hotfixed it, and then I swapped over to Cheat Death Trinket. But thing is, with Cheat Death Trinket, I realized you start to play worse, because you're like, oh, I have Cheat Death, doesn't matter. So then I quickly swapped over to this trinket. It does some nice damage, and it also has burst on it, which is also nice. And then I sticked with this trinket until I had my phase 1 down to the point. where I wanted it. And then I swapped back to Splintered Heart of the Elder and killed it with that. In my kill video, I didn't need it, but my plan was to get fourth Annihilate with the Cheat Death Trinket. In the kill video, didn't need it, but it's a nice safety net. If I would have, like, I think once or twice I was very close to dying, so it would have saved my ass there, definitely. But the kill was very, very clean, so that's that. And then I did a few optimizations, like I just put on rings with verse, and those are my only 2 rings with verse, so I put this on. For legs, I don't even know. Yeah, okay. I actually sold the legs because I just cleaned up my bags, but I sold the legs that I used, so I just used any legs that I had. Then I used the Apex Predator's Craving legendary for Feral because it's the only item that I own that has a socket. So I put a socket in there. So I just have those gloves, I just used those waists, this chest. Then I used this cloak. Because when scaled down, I found that this cloak gives me 1 extra stat compared to the other cloak. Like, I think this one gave me like 29 and the other one gave me 28 or something like that. Shoulders, I just used one that I had. For the neck, for a long time, I would use the Heart of Azeroth, because it has just a high stat budget compared to the other neck. But then, very late today, I swapped over to this one, because 1, it has a socket, and 2, you can put an enchant on it and gain some extra damage from that. And I just had Mark of the Hidden Satyr on it, so I just sticked with it. And for head, I only had this headpiece that I could wear, so we wore that. Alright, and now let's get into the video, actually. In terms of buff food and stuff, I used the BFA Flask. I used the Shadowlands Augment runes. For food, I would alternate between Blood Sausage and Bear Tartare. Like the Borarus Blood Sausage or Bear Tartare. Back in the day when I did this in Legion, I used Bear Tartare because of the movement speed, which is really nice and helpful. But then I found some Blood Sausages on my Death Knight that I played in BFA. And so I swapped to, like, I alternated, like, a few pulls I used Blood Sausage and a few pulls I used Bear Tartare. Because, like, both are nice. Like, the Blood Sausage gives a bit more damage, the other one gives mobility. So yeah, that's that. For weapon enchants, I think I show it really quickly, but I swapped to the Legion artifact weapon because you can put 2 enchants on it. And one of the enchants seems kinda strong. I think I'm showing it for a second at least. Yes, here. Lightless Force and Sinful Revelation. You can put 2 enchants in it. Lightless Force is just a damage proc, so it's whatever. But Sinful Revelation is the Shadowlands enchantment, which gives 6% damage increase to the target, to your main target. So I don't know if this is bugged or just showing up wrong, but in the tooltip, when the target has the buff and you mouse over the debuff on the target, it still says 6%. So that's nice, right? Like 6% is 6%. A lot of times it can proc onto like targets where it's not important, but it adds some nice damage. Like 6% is not it's not like too tiny amount of a damage increase. So I played with that. Alright, so to start this off, I didn't do any Moonkin weaving in the first phase. A lot of people like to do that, like you just spent the majority of the first phase in Moonkin form. But I found that I don't need that, because if I only like focus on keeping my 3 stack of fresh on the target plus Moonfire, like those 2 dots would kill the boss in 2 minutes. And that's too fast, because usually I would use the Bloodscatter scale like 1 minute into the fight, and then I wouldn't have it ready for the second Annihilate. So my ideal plan was push in between 2 and 3 minutes, when there is a nice overlap. And you will see that in the kill, I actually get the textbook overlap. Like, it's almost perfect. So, like, I always try to push when there is, like, little to no adds up. And I'm a bit early with pushing. But yeah, like, at first, at the start of the fight, I try to min-max my dot up time as much as possible. And then during the end of the fight, you kind of are busy with chasing around ads and stuff. So dots kind of fall off anyways. So that's how I regulated the fight length. And also what I do is I usually try to not go higher than 2 stacks. I think a few times in the video I go above 2 stacks, like obviously. But usually my limit was 2 stacks, even though 4 stacks are super comfy. But a lot of times I just step into the thing on the floor, I press thrash, and then I walk out again. Because that's enough to keep the dot rolling. Like every 10 seconds you do 1 thrash and it's fine. So to start off, I just apply my dots, use mangle, and then I go out. I go back in just to interrupt, and then I get like 1 more global. I'm at 4 stacks. It's early in the fight, nothing happens, so that's fine. Also, you might realize that I usually try to dot up eyes twice with Moonfire, because 2 Moonfires ensure that they die. Here, first ads, I pop Berserk, I walk into the ground, I apply my Thrash, and I walk out again. Okay, 3 stacks, a bit slow. Here, Charge and Typhoon ensures that we only get 1 stack. If you don't interrupt with Typhoon, you get 2 stacks. That's a nice min-max. So here I have 3 stacks. If I get 2 stacks, I'm at 5, which is dangerous. So you interrupt and you Typhoon, and then you only get 1 stack, which is a nice min-max. So here, at this point, I see him cast Holy Ward. So I'm looking where the orb spawns, so that I can use the old orb first. Sometimes I failed at this, but I think I do it well in this video. So here, left one is the one we should use. So we gather up the ads, and we just use... Okay. We actually used the wrong one. God damn it. Okay, so here we go in, apply dots. Because we just had interrupt. I knew we can like let it stack up a bit. Okay, so now we have eyes up. Focus on killing eyes. Here we go in, because we have weapon, we also mangle. We have weapon and chant proc, so we also mangle. Just for the extra damage. Okay, here, drain life. I wait until... Okay, I don't wait actually. Usually I would wait until the stacks fall off, but this time around I didn't. Like, even if the boss heals a bit in this phase, it's fine. Because it doesn't like ruin your phase 1. If it doesn't heal for like 50%, it's like, doesn't matter. But if the boss heals a bit on you, like, don't sweat it. Okay, here you see I didn't do the Typhoon trick. I got 2 stacks. Now I'm at 5 stacks, I'm in danger. Take a lot of damage. Okay. Usually, I don't know why I did it in this why I didn't do it in this video, but yeah. Usually I would wait until stacks fall off. Here I almost wipe, but here you see that the boss healed for a bit here. It's no big deal. Like, it's like I'm too fast anyways, right? As we said earlier. Like, we don't want the boss to die in 2 minutes. So if he heals a bit, whatever, just don't sweat it. Also, what you saw me doing here, sorry for the rewind. Is it here actually? I don't know. Like here, I instantly incap roar and then I go for the heal, which is a bit overkill. But I just wanted to be safe here, and at this point I always used orbs. Like, if I didn't use orb here, I would have 3 orbs up. And then keeping track of which orb is first and which is second and which is third is hard. Here I think I saw which one is the correct one, so I try to position myself. Okay, here I go for the interrupt, speed up, go for an interrupt. I do a very bad job at keeping those stacks in check, actually. Also take the wrong orb, it seems. Yo, this P1 is way more sloppy than I remembered. Okay. Are we going for interrupt? Yes. Okay. So here is where we kind of want to think about phasing the boss. So the ideal time to phase is right as the ads die, which we almost do. Like, ideally we would have phased like 3 seconds later, but this is still very much fine. Okay, so first annihilate comes now. I just take it with nothing. Here, very scary, I orb interrupted his cast and not interrupted. So if you Fat Finger interrupt here, you are in trouble, because if you orb interrupt his cast, he casts it again. You have to interrupt it with Skull Bash. So here, ads come out, I use my healing orb. Boom. A bit overkill here because we used Incap plus orb, but I wanted to be safe, not sorry. Better be safe, not sorry. Okay, here I think I used double Frenzied Regen because I'm in very much danger and I can't use a lot of things. And we also popped Lust and Berserk and Potion and everything. Here, new ads come in, I position myself in front of the orb and I'm kind of panicking, so I just use this orb like super mega early. And at this point I realized that I'm at 10% health and I'm like starting to panic. Here, like third annihilate, I used double wall to be safe. And then the interrupt, and then here I realize how far I'm into the, like how low the boss is. And then I was just okay, just screw it, just go for the orb, just survive. Incap, like again overkill, Incap plus orb immediately, but it was all worth it.
Yes! 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 Fuck! Yes! Why is it so easy, dude?
Yeah. Also, my headset was like a meter to the right here, lying on the shelf. That's why it sounds a bit like weird. But yeah, my headset was actually far away, and I was happy. I was jumping around the room here. But yeah, it was a clean kill. I'm very proud of it. Not gonna lie. But yeah, it was a fun challenge, and I see you in my. I don't know if I do any more of those because I really only wanted to do this one. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments or join my Discord server. And I see you in the next one. Bye.